I'm privileged and lucky enough to have a beautiful, beautiful family and lovely, lovely parents. And my dad was my absolute like role model and still is my absolute role model. And so for me, being a dad now is, all I want to do, like I look back and I think back of how I felt growing up and like how loved and protected and like just always like backed I felt, and just the safe space that I felt I was always in. And like my absolute dream is just to do the same for my boy. And that is so exciting as well, you know. It's so it just gets me absolutely pumped to be able to do that for him. There was something else that I also wanted to say about that I remembered. It was also just his absolute like he's absolutely helpless. He can do absolutely nothing for himself.
And we love that.
We love it. But like to be like absolutely dependent on not so much me, but more Jen, but like to be absolutely dependent on us and to be able to provide kind of every need that he has been just absolutely so special. It's been amazing, I must say. It's highly recommend.
What's your like, if you could have one, like what's your number one favorite thing about being a dad?
I would say it's the way it makes me feel proud.
Yeah, good. He's a good little boy.
He is a good boy.
And obviously we've been talking this morning, like the concept of God the Father.
Yeah.
What has becoming a dad? How has that shifted for you in your understanding of God?
Yeah, I think it's just reminded me of so much, which I feel like I knew, but now it has a new kind of reality and meaning to it. I did write some notes down because I didn't want to. I thought it was pretty good stuff, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to not say it.
Get your notebooks out.
No, but I mean, Phil, you shared one of the scriptures earlier, but it was Matthew 7 verse 9. It's, which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone, or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? Say, how much more? How much more? How much more? Exactly. And I think of just like, I'm constantly thinking of Spencer's future. I'm constantly thinking of like, how am I going to provide for him? How am I going to protect him? How am I going to this? How am I going to that? And I'm like, and if that's me, his earthly dad, like just constantly overwhelmed by how I'm going to be doing all these things and constantly wanting to be doing all these things, how much more our Father in heaven for us, and obviously for him as well. So that's actually just blown my mind, to be honest with you. And then the other thing is, I think two ways that God reveals himself to us is through our marriages and through our families. And I feel the devil comes to destroy those things, because when you destroy marriages and you destroy families, it's like, where's God, you know? And so it's like, if I can be, like, what is Spencer seeing when he sees me as a dad? What is he seeing our marriage as? And if those things can be amazing examples and the way God designed them to be, and I can love Jen and she can respect me, and I can love Spencer, those examples will show him and the people around us the Father, because that's how he's designed it. And so, yeah, it's honestly, it's blown my mind, to be honest with you. It's blown my mind. It's absolutely blown my mind. And the last thing I want to say as well is also what is quite, at times also overwhelming, is just the world that we now live in, which is just crazy. And knowing that he's going to be kind of growing up in that world, which is probably going to be even more crazy in like 20, 30 years' time. And it's just the voices that like already, they're always shouting and screaming at us. In 20, 30 years' time, I'm sure they're going to be absolutely howling. But if I look at the scriptures and everything, I see this is something that our pastor at our previous church used to often preach, and it was like the Father heart of God and stuff. So it's something that's stuck with us a lot with Jen and I. But if you look, it was 400 years of silence between the Old Testament and the New Testament. God didn't say a thing. And the first thing that he said in the New Testament was when Jesus was baptized, and there was a voice from heaven that said, "This is my son, whom I love, and with whom I'm well pleased." And that voice from heaven is louder than any voice on earth. Any voice on earth. And for me, my prayer and what I've just kind of been thinking and dwelling on and reflecting on the whole time is, would that voice from heaven just scream absolutely louder than ever for my boy, and obviously for us as well. And that he would know his identity, and who his identity. He is a son of, yes, he's my boy, but he is a son of God. He is a son of God. And yeah, these things, like I say, things that you know, but it's like this whole season and this experience has just been, it's been amazing. It's honestly, it's blown me away. It's been wild. But yeah, just that identity, the affection, the affirmation that we get from our Father. And I know, like, my experience of growing up, and my dad was amazing, and I know it's not the same for everybody, but honestly, I mean, even today, I feel like God wants to just heal relationships with dads. And yeah, I'm trusting as we sit here and as we listen to the word that God would work in families and work in the hearts of dads and kids and children. Yeah, it's been wild.
Love it. Can we thank Rawdon? Come on, man.